harvesting my herbs. I have a bucket garden outside of my kitchen window, and right now I am cutting some tarragon to dehydrate. It has such a nice licoricey flavor, and those doggone dandelions, they just get in there everywhere. And now I am after some marjoram. I just love the smell of that. It's kind of lemony. I don't know how else to describe it. And then here I am cutting some lemon balm. Oh no, I'm sorry, that was not lemon balm. That was Thai basil. That's lemon balm. And then here's some more. It smells so good. It makes wonderful tea. And then I'm harvesting some oregano that's like right up against the house. We use oregano in a lot of things, refried beans, tacos, nachos, you name it. I love to make just simple pinto beans, and they smell so good. And now I'm just loading those into my dehydrator. It's an Excalibur. When I was growing up, I bought one as a teenager, and I just love them. And then here I am. This is the next day. I had decided to dry up some sourdough starter because I wanted to be able to have it handy if I were to kill my starter, which I have been known to do on occasion. And little Magnus got tired of watching me. He was like, "Mom, I'm tired. It's late at night." Quite often that's the only time that I get to do these projects, is late at night when everybody else has gone to bed. You can see it's dark. And here's actually the next day. I'm just breaking it up and putting it into a jar, and then I will be putting that into the freezer for now. It certainly does not have to be in the freezer, but at the moment it was convenient for me. It could be shelf stable and be just fine. And Aiden decided to taste it and see what he thought. That did not go very well for him, but hey, you have to try it, right? He loves sourdough crackers, so I think he thought that this maybe would taste like that. It didn't quite work out that way though. And then here's just that second sheet. It's so cool how it bends up. I loved learning about the fact that sourdough was used as chinking in log cabins once upon a time. You know, that when you put it in between the logs, that was what it was called, and it worked really well to keep out the weather. How cool is that? I just love learning about our early history because it's very rich and diverse. And here I'm just using a wooden spoon handle to kind of bust up all those big flakes down into something a little bit more manageable. I could literally take one of those little flakes, mix it with some warm water and some flour, baby it for about a week, and I would have a beautiful starter all ready to go. It's so convenient, it's so nice, and I just never seem to think of it. So I'm really glad that this time I actually took initiative and got it done. And then this would be Wednesday. I've been really harvesting a lot of mulberries, and these were in the fridge, and I had intended to get to them, and they were just sitting there. I did not want them to go moldy. I spend a lot of time on my bicycle foraging for these. I absolutely love it. It brings me joy every day. So anyway, I wanted to get these onto a baking sheet and get them in the freezer. I've been freezing a lot of them. And here I'm just kind of picking them over, making sure there's no branches, no debris, no surprise protein snacks, aka bugs, since, we're not the only ones who adore mulberries. And just spreading them out. It's called individually quick freezing them. It's just a way to keep them from sticking together very much, so that when it's time to get them out and put them in the freezer bag, they don't stick together and make big clumps and have a challenging time breaking them apart. And just picking and sorting, and as usual, it's late at night and most of the kids have gone to bed. Normally you'll see Aiden in the background. He's such a night owl. I just can't keep that kid in bed. And there we go. Next day, we decided to make mulberry pie filling. So we used some more that I had in the fridge, some freshly foraged ones that I had, and then I also pulled some out of the freezer because I ended up needing them. We really enjoy mulberries and a lot of different things, and this pie filling just makes it so convenient. I actually made a separate video just on making this pie filling, and I just love seeing it come out of the canner. It's so cool. And this is the next day. I decided to make some dilly beans, and I really love the way that they turned out. They're so beautiful and delicious. I have a lot of green beans right now, so I've been focusing on getting those preserved. And yeah, these won't make it very long because my kids can devour a jar in one sitting, but that's okay. It makes them. Hello there. I thought I'd bring you outside because it's hot and humid, but it's a beautiful day. Today I am going out to the chicken pen to finish gathering eggs. Yesterday for my every bit counts, I water glassed some eggs and I realized after I'd put them in the jar that I forgot to video it. So this is Sunday, but it's Saturday's every bit counts clip because yeah, I kind of forgot to take a video. I'm just walking out here. It's really gotten overgrown. I had a plastic feed bag get caught in my lawnmower blades, so my son was finally able to get that out for me. We won't even look at the garden right now because I tell you, it has turned into a huge weed pit. We have our chickens confined right now because we introduced some new ones to the group, and we like to keep them contained for a few days. Come on, Luna. Come on. To get them used to being with the others before we let them all out. And this is, let's see, I don't even know if I can do this. Here we go. This is Luna. I call her our prodigal cat. She goes away for a few weeks on end, and we always welcome her back with open arms because we miss her, and I always get afraid she's going to get hit by a car or something, but she's just fine. She just does it. I don't know why. Anyway, I'm going to go in the chicken pen. I'll start this up again. And oh my goodness, everybody's saying good morning. They're hungry and thirsty, so my son's coming out to feed them all. Say hi, everybody. Oh, we got some thunder rumbling. We're supposed to get some. Goodness, guys. Honestly, use your manners. Don't eat my toes. I like my toes. I like my toes. Woo! Get out from under my feet, guys. Oh, sorry for the wonky cinematography here. Goodness gracious. Here we go. Here's our eggs for water glassing this morning. Actually, I guess it's afternoon technically. See, we got. I need to get my boy out here to put some more bedding in the nest boxes. Oh, this mama's my broody girl. She does not appreciate having her eggs taken very much at all. She's a cuckoo Moran, and boy, she does a good job. All right, guys. Now I'm just adding some more eggs to my water glass solution. I will be adding a little bit more water and a little bit more lime because they need to be covered all the way and my jar's not full. But for now, it's fine. It's covering them, and that's what counts. So I will add to this jar probably one more day before it's full. My girls have been really slow right now because it's hot and yucky, and I don't think they feel like it laying eggs any more than I feel like going outside. So I can't blame them. Anyway, I'm using nice, clean eggs with no poopies on them. The poopy eggs will get washed and used for other purposes, and hopefully our new pullets that are out in the barn will start laying. So today is Sunday, and my last project for this first week of Every Bit Counts is I am going to just can up some green beans. So I'm out here, I was out here earlier picking, and we have thunderstorm coming, so I'm going to harvest before. Didn't they do great? I was really skeptical that we would get much this year, but they're coming on strong despite these doggone grasshoppers' best efforts. My goodness, it's like a grasshopper apocalypse this year, and that and Japanese beetles. It's been a rough year with all these pests, but Mother Nature provides. God is good all the time, and I have evidence of that every day. I have a very abundant harvest, and I am incredibly grateful, and I'm reminded over and over again to stop worrying so darn much and just enjoy the harvest. So I'm gonna keep picking these, and then we're gonna get them in the canner and start up our very first load of just plain canned green beans for 2021. And that, my friends, is a blessing beyond measure. Now I am washing and snapping my beans. Actually, I'd already washed them. First, I scrubbed out my sink really well on both sides and washed them really well. And now I'm just snapping off those blossom ends, and I don't do any fancy measurements for my canned green beans. I just put them in there. They taste the same no matter how they look. So this is the part that takes some time. It's tedious, but at the end of the day, it sure is nice to crack open those jars of green beans and eat them. I really am so grateful for that. I'm grateful for this abundance. Like I had said earlier, I was afraid we wouldn't get a good harvest. So this brings me joy, a lot of joy. And now I'm just filling up my jars, getting some salt in them, and my sink is very well used. I think it's probably the original from 1957, so it's seen some things. And I had really despised it for a long time, but actually its character has grown on me. It's heavy cast iron, and even though it's kind of ugly and it's all chipped and dented, it reminds me that life isn't always beautiful. It's not always perfect. Sometimes there's chips and dents and wear and tear, but that's okay. Nothing in life is perfect, and sometimes you just make do. And then here I'm adding filtered water. And it's a little challenging, so I just decided to pick up my jars and pour it on. And I'm just going to give them that 1-inch headspace. Not shown. In a minute here, I will be debubbling them. Just making sure there's no bubbles, and making sure I've still got that inch of headspace. I'm doing these, what would be considered rebel canning. I use a cold canner, cold jars, cold beans, and cold water. And then just bring it up to temperature very slowly so I don't damage those jars. In this particular case, I just didn't want to have to deal with heating up jars and hot water and all that. And here I'm just loading them up into the canner. I've got my All-American. And I ended up with, I believe it was 7 quarts and 2 pints. And not shown, I did end up throwing in a few quarts of just water. I like to fill up the canner with water. It's just nice to have it on the shelf in case we have a power outage, which is not uncommon in our neck of the woods. Just about every time we have a thunderstorm, you can expect the power to go out. It's just the way it is out here. My goal is to be completely off grid, but we're not there just yet. So for now, I'm doing my best to store water, and I find that having it in jars up high works out well. And there's Abigail. She's mixing the dough for us. So I'm just bringing the canner up to pressure and cooking those. Here's how our beans turned out. I had one jar that had some siphoning to it, one of the pint jars, not quite sure why. There was no breakage or anything, so that's okay. We'll put that one in the fridge and we'll eat it right away. But I love how these turned out. There's the water in the back. I really love how wax beans look. They're so pretty. I just love that golden color. So there you have it. Our first week of Every Bit Counts challenge was indeed a challenge, I'm not gonna lie. Finding something to process every day and making time for it is definitely not my forte, but I'm really grateful for this because it's teaching me how to prioritize that. So thank you for following along. I look forward to doing more preservation projects with you this month. Have a blessed week. Bye-bye now.